We are
the
the
Syndicate.
Hello and welcome.
You may be wondering how you got here.
You may be wondering your choice of podcast.
In this series, you'll hear a variety of stories that may or may not be fact or fiction.
Welcome
To the Syndicate.
If you can't believe the unbelievability, then there's something wrong with the writing.
It may be said with a degree of assurance that not everything that meets the eye is as it appears.
There is nothing in the dark that isn't there when the lights are on.
But it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Just how normal we are. And just who are the people we say our hellos to?
A rather good question to ask.
Especially on the
Syndicate. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Simdicate channel. We are joined today by DeuceMS, GaminGargoyle, and Bone 13. Today we are going to be talking about Independence Day, July 4th,
And Canada Day.
and Canada
July
Day,
1st.
which is July 1st, which I didn't know or didn't remember. But yes, let's start with Gargoyle. What does Canada Day mean to you?
To me, yeah, we got out underneath the rule of the British thumb. Basically, it became a kingdom within its own right.
Right, those rascally redcoats always taking everybody's fun.
Yeah. Other than that, though, it's a great day in the summer to have a day off, spend time, with friends and family. Watch some fireworks and, have a good time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Bone, what about you? What's it mean to you? Not Canada Day, Independence Day for you. because-
Independence Day, okay. Well, to me, it's going to mean something a little bit different than what it means probably to you guys. But to me, July 4th, Independence Day, is a day to celebrate the country and the independence they have and the loved ones that they were willing to sacrifice their lives for. Being a veteran, I have carried the flag many, many times, given it to many people, usually on, not very good circumstances. And let me tell you, that flag is extremely heavy when you're trying to give it to somebody. And those images and memories never get out of my head. And that's what, I mean, to me, that's what I know. It's all the sacrifice that they have done for this country, for its independence and everything like that.
Right. Deuce?
I have no military experience background and have plenty of friends that do. And I mean, did you America today? That's what Independence Day is.
I America
It's
every day.
bacon and fireworks and freedom and being able to cuss at your neighbor from your own lawn. That's Independence Day for me. It reminds me that we live in a free society, but that it gets abused a lot by a lot of people, and that's the hard side of it. I think is being reminded that free societies typically get people take advantage of things and other people, and not only should we remember the people that fought that first war to get free from the country that we came from at the time, but we should also remember how far we've come as a nation. Every year on Independence Day, remember how far we've come as a nation for all the wrongdoings in the past. We've started moving past that. We still have a long way to go, sure. But are we still free in this country for the most part? Yes. I think that's a pretty big step forward from where we started. I still think there's a long way to go to have true freedom. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. And to me, it's a day of independence, the basic American answer. It started in 1976.
A long time before that.
a little
Well,
before
a little-
1976.
Yeah. It was declared in 76, in actually June, I think. It started in what was it?
Well, yeah, but go back another
75?
200 years.
200
Yeah.
years previous. Yeah.
17, not 1976.
No, yeah. 1776. I
Well,
should.
originally,
What's-
Canada Day wasn't Canada Day. It was renamed Canada Day in 1982. It used to be called Dominion Day for us,
Huh.
but it goes back to July 1st, 1867, though. So we've been around for a while. We've all been around for a while. Boy,
Oh,
we
yeah.
populated North America, haven't we?
A little.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, just a little bit.
There's still some room left.
Now, there's lots of room up here if you can learn to freeze for 9 months of a year.
Mhm.
But hey, climate change, it's getting better.
You know, as Americans, we celebrate Independence Day, of course, on July 4th. And we think of it, you know, well, most Americans, I would think, I don't think you think of the Declaration of Independence when you think Independence Day. I think most people think, hey, it's time to get off of work. They don't think about the sacrifices and everything that has been put in place for you to be able to do this, to have your barbecues and your get-togethers and all that stuff on that specific day, and shoot off fireworks into the sky with really nobody batting an eye most of the time, as long as you're not going too crazy. But I don't know.
We can't do that here.
Well,
We're in the city. The city doesn't allow it.
yeah,
Again, we've got a long way to go for actual freedom, but I
Right.
think we've come a long way too. So
we have come a long way.
Well, be careful on the word freedom. There is over 210 countries that have freedom. So, just be. I mean, you gotta be
it's
careful.
a different. It's a different. It's a
I-
different.
I understand that.
It's a different form of freedom for different people.
Right.
And I say true freedom from the utmost respect for the why we have it. Believe me, for the people that have fought over the years and to keep that freedom. But
Right.
Independence Day to me was being truly independent. And so far, while we have gotten past a lot of the bad stuff that happened in history, slavery and the using the Japanese and the Irish and everything and African the whole history of African people being enslaved, like everything, all that's bad.
Mhm.
We've come a long way from that. But when I say freedom, I mean that the U.S. now seems to be more dependent on the government than it was 150 years ago, and that's what I'm saying, is that we came a long way, but we still have a long way to go to get our freedom from our government even. Because we are largely dependent on our government these days, and it's
Mhm.
sad, honestly.
It is.
So
We were dependent on the British government. I mean, it wasn't until the Statute of Westminster until 1931 that we really started gaining some independence, and then it didn't mean we didn't really gain our complete independence until 1982 with the Constitution Act.
Right.
right,
that fully patriated Canada at that time. So really Canada, we were under a lot of British thumb, even though we were getting out of it. It came in small baby steps. I mean, not until that long ago, 30
Mhm.
years ago.
right.
Right.
So,
Okay.
when I hear, independence, for me, it's, up here in Canada, it's like, free from other government control.
Makes sense.
Yep, that makes total sense.
Let's see.
I got a question for you guys, though. Do you
Mhm.
refer it as a birthday? Do you call it as a birthday down there in the States? Because up here we call it more of an anniversary. I mean, you see sometimes in the news and that, and I get a bit of a giggle. The press is like, Canada's birthday. I'm like, no, it's
This-
more of an anniversary.
This is 100% America's birthday.
Yes.
Yeah. In my mind, I don't speak for everybody. I don't speak for anybody.
No, I agree with you on that. To me, it was the birth of America in a whole, for getting our freedoms, so to say. And I don't know how I'm trying to say this,
I mean,
but yeah.
July 4th, 1776 was the day that the Declaration of Independence was adopted by the Continental Congress.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, United States officially was born on July 4th, 1776. The fighting and all that started before that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
The day it actually was born was July 4th, 1776.
The Declaration of Independence was not actually signed until August 2nd, though. But it was brought forth and put forward, so it was
Yes.
the beginning of the birth of our country. It was our true freedom on paper.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, it was,
So,
oh
I
God,
mean,
what year?
Yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I mean, we consider it a birthday.
It's it's the same. We're all part of North America, but we view things a little different. I think that's kind of awesome that that is how it worked out in the end.
And I think the Declaration was it written in June of 1976 or 1776? Because I know it wasn't.
It was written in June of 1776. Yep.
I think so. So I mean, it was a work in progress. I mean, they were moving things along back then.
Well, I mean,
it was started to be written in June. It was formally declared on July.
On July,
2nd.
yeah.
Yep.
And it was finally the final draft of it and signed was August 2nd.
Right.
But yes.
Yep. Some stuff I actually had to look up about this is that from 1735 to 1826. Sorry, that was John Adams. It had 86 changes in it later by John Adams and Benjamin Franklin. So that was their birth and death dates. My bad. But yeah, later. It just says later. It doesn't give it. I'm sure there's a date on how long when the last change was made. But yeah. So 86 changes made to it later. But
yeah, it was, for the first 15, 20 years after Declaration was written, people did not celebrate it much on that date. It was too new and too much else was happening with the young nation. By the 1790s, a time of bitter partisan conflicts and Declaration had become controversial. Okay.
again, we got a long way to go.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds pretty normal today.
One party, the Democratic Republicans, admired Jefferson and the Declaration, but the other party, the Federalist, so this is back when the Republicans and Democrats were one, and then they had the Federalist.
Not really.
Oh, no?
Their name is similar,
Okay.
but yeah.
And then they said they had the Federalist.
Yeah. I mean,
It's named the Democratic Republicans, but that's not the same parties that we know today.
Right.
That
Yeah.
party and none of the parties we have today
Oh,
are
no.
the same.
No.
The Federalist Party and none of the parties we have today are the same.
right.
So by
Not the ones that get set in the mainstream anyway.
Right. By 1817, John Adams complained in a letter to the America seemed uninterested in its past, but would soon change.
One thing America is really big on is history.
Oh, yeah.
They want everyone to know how great they are and everything they've done good. They try to not teach or not show all the negative stuff that's happened.
That is 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
They
Oh,
try
yeah.
to cover it up fast.
Even the school systems today do that.
Yep.
Well, I mean, who do you think controls the school system?
Oh, I know that.
Yeah. Whether it be the feds or the state government, they put out the curriculum. So it's, But as overall, though, I mean, I would still say that I think all Americans, and when I say all Americans, I don't mean people that were born here. I mean, if you live here, to me, you're an American. I don't care where you came from, how you got here, what color your skin is. It doesn't matter to me. We all live here. We should all be working toward, betterment, not fighting each other constantly because it's silly. But all Americans should take 4th of July and recognize it in some way. Whether you still see, opportunities to make it better, whether you see opportunities to make yourself better, all that kinds of stuff should be considered. It should be considered a day for unity for everybody.
Absolutely.
Well, right. It doesn't matter if you're all in New York watching, a bunch of people shove hot dogs in their mouth at Nathan's. You're all there together supporting one thing.
Right.
Yeah, whether it be fireworks, parades, barbecues, not so much in the current state of things, but concerts, your carnivals, fairs, whatever, picnics, that type of stuff. Yeah, I gotta agree. As Canadians, we celebrate it multiculturally.
Right, as it should be, as it should be. Canada Day is treated like I see Independence Day, right? Just from my point of view, I see Independence Day as no matter our political disagreements, no matter any of that, we're all Americans on 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, even the corporate consumerism gets into it. I mean, big sales happen here on Canada Day. It's second to Black Friday. Canada Day has the best sales. As second to Black Friday. Black Friday has always been the biggest sales day.
I think that's the same for us, isn't it?
Mm.
You guys do any shopping on the 4th?
I don't.
The main thing I buy is barbecue stuff,
Yeah.
and that's basically it. Something to throw on the smoker and something to keep my whistle wet.
Get that brisket and beer.
Yep.
Pretty much.
I mean, honestly, I
Yep.
would just say the second biggest shopping day in America is probably Amazon Prime Day.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah.
That's true.
So
I was
I could
all
easily
over it. I
be
just didn't find
passing,
anything I
yeah,
wanted.
And that could easily be it nowadays with corporate consumerism. That Black Friday and now Amazon Prime Day could probably top what everybody buys on Canada Day for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I mean, to me, I hate to go down this rabbit hole, but we're going down it. To me, on these types of holidays, like July 4th, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, stuff like that, in my opinion, only essential workforce should be employed. Everyone else should have the day off. Whether it's to celebrate with your family, well, it's to celebrate with a group of people, well, it's to go down and watch a parade or something like that. That's just my opinion, my thought. I think there's too many American holidays that people are forced to work because you have the companies, the businesses that are just trying to make a buck off of what's going on on the calendar.
Oh yeah.
Yep. 100%. I mean, unless people volunteer to work that day, you know what I mean? Like
That's fine, but a lot of I don't think they have the choice.
No, a
They're
lot of people
scheduled to
don't.
work and they're working.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have a choice. They don't have time off to take personal time off, and a lot of people won't let them take time off.
Right. Is
on
there
those
any
holidays,
reason?
depending on what business they're in.
I mean, is there any reason why McDonald's is open on July 4th? Is there any reason why, pizza places are open on July 4th? No, there's not. There's no reason whatsoever.
Other than people are buying their products because they don't want to cook or anything along those days. Yes. I mean, it's a good day
but
for
if
it's when a lot of people are off.
Yeah, but if you're not open, okay, you're not open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. If you plan ahead, you know what I mean. If it turns around, it's like no, that's it, just essentials only.
Yeah, if you don't want to cook, then that's fine. Stock up on an extra microwave meal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the way I look at it too. Yeah, it's like everybody should have that day off within reason. I mean, we still need to have power coming in and things like that to keep our refrigerators running. But I mean, like you say, only essentials should really have to work on those days. Yeah,
exactly.
And again, I think everybody's entitled to their choices. I agree with you on all that, Bone. I want people to be able to have their option to not celebrate 4th of July because they dislike America, because they have that freedom to do so.
They do. I agree with you there.
And if they want to go to work and they just choose to ignore it, that's fine too.
Right.
There's no issue with me on that.
As long as they're given the option.
As long as they're given the option, yes.
Right.
But being forced to work is what I have the issue with, which I feel like most people that dislike America enough to not even acknowledge 4th of July would probably agree with us on that point, that you shouldn't be forced to work that day because it's a national holiday.
Right. I mean, it is a federal holiday.
Yeah, you shouldn't be forced to work that day. I don't care if you agree with my thinking on the 4th of July or not. I don't think you should be forced to work that day because true freedom should be true freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see, what else can we talk about? What else can we talk about? I don't know anything about Canada today, so other than, it was
right, well-
July 1st?
While you look up a little thing to talk about, I'm just going to throw a nice fun fact out there about July 4th. Okay.
All right.
Both Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, two people who signed the Declaration of Independence, and later served as presidents of the United States, both died on the same day, July 4th, 1826, which was the 50th anniversary of the Declaration. James Monroe, a founding father who was also elected president, also died on July 4th, 1831. So there's 3 presidents who have died on July 4th.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
And there is one president who was born on July 4th, and that was Calvin Coolidge, who was born on July 4th, 1872.
wow.
The 1800s was impactful for the.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
July
So
4th.
I mean, there's 4 presidents that July 4th has a completely different meaning of. I mean, you have Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and James Monroe,
Yeah.
all who died on July 4th.
I have
So
one for you. Where's the biggest party? Is it at your nation's capital on July 4th?
no, I would have to say the biggest party.
Or celebration of the festivities, you know what I mean?
My backyard.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mike's backyard.
Sorry, what was the question?
Biggest
just-
party.
Yeah, like for us here in Canada, we have the largest gathering of the festivities at our Parliament Hill in Ottawa, at our nation's capital. Like by far, there's more people there than probably combined in all the other major cities across Canada.
I feel like here it's the exact opposite. Like nobody wants to have anything to do with Washington on
No.
4th of July. They want to do their own thing.
Or any
mean-
other time of the year.
That's true.
To me, the biggest party. The only thing I can think of is in New York City when Macy's does their annual fireworks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on July 4th, and being New York City is a big city, I'm gonna guess that is the biggest American party.
Probably.
So would I consider it a party? No, but there's tons of people down there to watch the fireworks, and they have a bunch of parties.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it so much as a party as I said the word party, but I think my meaning was more towards the celebration of the festivity.
Yeah, to me, I would say that, but I would say most big cities in the States, actually, no, most big cities don't have parties on July 4th. They usually do it days before.
Mm-hmm.
That
Oh,
way, they allow people to do their own things on July 4th.
Oh wow!
Like I know
for
in
here-
I know in Michigan, usually the Detroit fireworks is usually a couple days before. Let me see, look it up here. Detroit fireworks 2021. Yeah, it's let's see here. What is it at? Come on, I'm trying to find the day here.
Our
there's
government
there's-
actually gives out grants and aids to different cities across the country to help fund it for like the local activities in that.
Yeah,
year.
Detroit's fireworks is June 28th. That's Detroit's fireworks is June 28th.
So
And that's for Detroit, and Windsor also gets into it too. So that's a U.S. Canada one.
I know that people who are overseas for Canada and that they celebrate overseas, and there's been fireworks in like Netherlands, in the UK. At first the UK wasn't so happy about it, but now everything's kind of kosher. So,
Well, yeah. I mean, why would the UK be happy? Everyone's leaving them.
yeah.
or they're getting kicked out because they're not welcome. We don't want
the
your tea. We
Caribbean.
want our coffee.
The Caribbean is amazing for July 1st for helping the Canadians celebrate their holiday down there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty awesome to know that there's a lot of other countries that are out there, stand up with us and say, hey, yeah, you want to celebrate? By all means, celebrate here. I think that's awesome.
Oh yeah. Did you know that the celebrations of the 4th of July were not very popular in the beginning? Of course, we talked about that.
Yep.
And the years to come, like around 1870, almost 100 years after it was written, Congress first declared July 4th to be a national holiday as part of a bill to officially recognize several holidays, including Christmas.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you think about it like that. Today we think of all that as standard.
And those,
And back then, no, nothing was in writing. I mean, for those of you that listen to the Father's Day podcast, if you haven't, please go back and listen to that one. Father's Day wasn't really. I mean, when Father's Day came out, most of the fathers were against it. They didn't want a day. They didn't want another day where they had to spend their money on to buy something for them. So it took a while for that one to get actually officially recognized.
yeah, it is saying the further legislation about national holidays, including 4th of July, Christmas, and all that stuff, was passed in 39 and 41. 1939 and 1941.
Yeah.
So that hasn't been that long ago.
No.
Oh, Canada has some history with Canada Day, that's for sure, especially with the Chinese Canadians. They named it. They used to call it Humiliation Day until what was it? The Chinese Immigration Act of 1923 was repealed in 1947.
Well, I mean, to be fair, nobody's country in the past has been perfect.
No.
So.
Oh no.
So I
Definitely
mean,
not.
I can see why people that of other nationalities would see countries that way. I mean, honestly, like I can see that. Like I have no debate that that's 100% justified the way they felt. You know what I mean? Because I know there are groups here that are 100% justified in the way they feel today. Just it's like we at some point we have to start moving forward, though. We can't keep blaming people today for things that happened 300 years ago. Not to say that they don't still happen, but we got to start moving forward and be Americans at some point.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Don't blame somebody else for something that happened 200 years ago when neither one of y'all were alive.
Well, let me ask you something, everybody. What is the most patriotic thing you do on July 4th? Or for you, Gargoyle, what is the most patriotic thing you do on Canada Day?
I don't know of any year that I have not sang the national anthem on Canada Day.
So every Canada Day, you sing Canada's national anthem.
Yep, right at the beginning of the fireworks. And it's pretty much every city I've ever been in throughout every Canada Day. I have not seen it where the fireworks start, where everybody is singing our national anthem.
All right. What about the U.S. guys? What is the most patriotic thing you do on the 4th of July?
Probably little American flags everybody buys right around that time.
Yep,
Carry
you
those
put 'em in
around
your lawn.
everywhere.
Or carry them, yep. Okay. What about you, Deuce? Anything?
I mean, cookouts.
That's not patriotic, but
Say it. Well, I mean, it is to an extent because it's a way for the people that are at the cookouts to get together and remind each other why they're able to get together. You know what I mean? Like I think it's
Okay.
more than a show. It's discussions are good too. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's a reminder of where we're at and where we're headed. So
Mhm.
and how we
Okay.
got here. I mean, of course, how we got here. I mean,
Right.
again, it all comes up. I mean, I don't, I wasn't part of the military, so I don't
Right.
have that to fall back on. But for me, it's always been about getting together and having a good time with your family and understanding why you can have that. That's kind of the most patriotic thing for me is 4th of July.
Right.
As far as the nation and the history of the nation is concerned.
Right. I mean, for me, it's I mean, yes, I have an American flag up in my house. But the one thing that I do every July 4th is I write 10 letters to random soldiers. And I mail them out every July 4th. 10 people.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Only because when I was in the military, mail is gold. It is the one thing that really keeps you going. Now it's different now with the more social media and stuff like that, but when you're deployed, all that's gone. You know, social media is gone. So the only thing you have to live on is news and letters. That's it. And the news, you know, is filtered. They're only going to tell you what you know they think is, you know, what they want you to hear, anyways. Because there's it's an armed forces network. That's the news you get over there. But yeah, I mean, I used to tell people, hey, I don't care if you cut out comic strips out of a paper and send them to me. At least I know for that one moment someone was thinking about me. So, and that's why I do it.
That's cool. I gotta say that is really cool, dude.
Yeah, I'm telling you, mail day is one of the best days in the military. And you feel really bad when you don't get anything. Because mail doesn't come every day. So you might get it once a week or once every 2 weeks. And yeah, it's tough going, you know, a couple of weeks without receiving anything, you know, from anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can't imagine.
I never wrote so many letters before when I was in the military. I used to write to everybody. I didn't care. You wrote me a letter, I'd write you back. Just so I could have some connection, and that used to be my driving force to keep me going, is waiting on the return letter. So
Well, here's
That's
something.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, here's something I didn't know. The Philippines celebrate July 4th as Republic Day to commemorate the day in 1946 when it ceased to be a U.S. territory.
it works both ways then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. Liberation from us. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, again, everybody sees things a little bit differently. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I mean, honestly, like, people petition every year. They never stop petitioning for Puerto Rico to become the 51st state.
Yeah.
And people in Puerto Rico want to become the 51st state. It seems like, just from what I see. Again, what I see may not be 100% true though, because like you said, the media tends to put out what sells. It may not be false, but it may be what sells more than the actual base of the story, which is important too.
Mm-hmm.
And then stuff you see on social media, it may not be 100% true, but it seems that way.
Well, that in Puerto
I think
Rico does celebrate July 4th.
Mm-hmm.
They do, and that's what I was going to get to. Is I mean, it just seems silly at this point that they're not the 51st state. If that's, you know what I mean, like they should be, in my opinion.
I agree.
I don't know why they're not, but they already celebrate it. They just don't get all of the. Well, they don't get all the good or the bad from, you know what I mean. They get all the bad. They don't get any of the good. You know, from the U.S. being part of the U.S. but not being an actual state of the Union. So.
Well,
You know.
what I like too is like Denmark. It's that Denmark is not U.S. Denmark holds a celebration for America on July 4th.
Really, I didn't know that.
Norway does the same thing.
Huh.
Ireland
odd.
does the same thing. And Australia does the same thing.
I can't believe Australia does. Honestly, I feel like
Yes.
most Australians hate Americans. Honestly, like
Yeah.
And to all my Australian friends out there, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying that's the way it feels when you watch the media. So.
Oh, I can
Believe-
see that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sid-
Canada does the same thing. I mean, Hong Kong, they do it on June 30th though, for Canadians. In 2008, said, I'm just reading the wiki here. It says that there's around 12,000 in attendance for that.
Which is actually July 1st for them, because they're 14 hours ahead of most
yeah.
people in Canada. So, or
Exactly, yeah.
12 hours, whatever. Yeah.
You know, referring to Bone, Canadian Forces events happen in Afghanistan on base.
Yep.
Like I was saying, London, they're huge in Trafalgar Square. It's massive there. And I didn't know this one, but Mexico does the same thing. The Royal Canadian Legion in Chapala at the Canadian Club in Ajijic. I couldn't tell you how it is. And of all things that just surprised the heck out of me, China does the same thing at Bund Beach at a Canadian international school. Like that
I mean,
is
I can tell
amazing.
you in the military, me personally, because usually I was deployed far away from, any family or whatever. The holidays to me meant money day, because people were assigned to certain duties, like whether it's fire watch or they had to clean up something or whatever, but they had family in the area and they wanted to leave. So people would pay the people that stayed behind, $50, $100, whatever, to do their job for them so they could leave. So yeah, during the holidays, I mean, I used to make tons of money because I never went anywhere.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
So I mean, again, it has nothing to do with the meaning of 4th of July, but I mean, the military base doesn't shut down. Things still have to happen. So
Well,
yeah.
here's something else I just found. In 1779, July 4th fell on a Sunday. The holiday was moved to celebrate on a Monday, July 5th. That's not something they do nowadays.
Yeah, they do.
We have a
Well,
federal holiday act for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like Gargoyle said, typically you get the next day off, and here they do
Right.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most places. Or
Yeah,
some
most places this year will get Monday off.
Yep.
So, yep.
And also in 1870, U.S. Congress made Independence Day an unpaid holiday for federal employees, and that was not reverted until 1938, when it became a paid holiday for federal employees. Which I mean,
I don't want to go down that route.
no.
Yeah.
I've got a lot to say about Congress and senators. And,
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah, that's I
president,
think
vice
that's
president
a
stuff.
whole different
Not
topic.
not federal employees like the post office and stuff like that, but the higher ups. Yeah, that's a whole different topic.
Oh, yeah. That we're probably not going to talk about on this
We'll
channel.
probably never have that conversation. Yeah.
No.
While we mention things we'll never have the discussion on, we're talking about a national holiday, right? And it should be a national holiday. It should be, absolutely. 4th of July should be. There's another day that nobody wants to admit. I say nobody. The people do. None of the political side does. Either pick a party. I don't care what party you're part of. Nobody wants to put this in place. That voting day in America should be a national holiday.
Everybody should
Voting
be
day
off.
should be, yes. Everybody should have the opportunity to go. And again, only because I know we're never going to have that conversation on here, and I'm happy not to have it.
Right.
I just wanted to point out, as long as we're discussing a national holiday, which is a big national holiday, we're all happy, we all celebrate, voting day in America should be a national holiday.
There is a lot of places that give voting day as a day off, though. There is. I know the big three, they shut down on voting day.
I mean, I just mean it should be recognized by our government. Like, our government does a lot of useless crap, and again, pick a party, I don't care who they are.
I agree.
That's one thing that's not useless, it should be done.
Right.
Absolutely should be done.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm glad that our government has stepped up and said that July 1st is a guaranteed holiday. Like it's got a federal holidays act to cover it. So if it does fall on a Sunday, that the Monday is the statutory holiday.
Right.
The events will probably still take place on the 1st.
Right.
But even though it's not the legal holiday, the businesses will normally close on the Monday as the day off.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of people that go, they'll go on Friday when they get off work. If they only have that Monday off, say it's it's on Sunday, so they get the Monday off, then they'll go camping or whatever with a bunch of people, right? But they all get together that Saturday, and they camp all the way through Monday. So they use Monday to kind of finish up and then get back home. So you know what I mean? Like, not so much anymore, but that's the way things used to be for people I knew anyway. So, they still use that extra day, even though they celebrated pretty much the whole weekend. So, or they partied the whole weekend, whatever you want to call it.
They're saying in 17. I'm sorry to cut you off, but in 1781, Massachusetts General Court became the first state legislature to recognize July 4th as a state celebration.
That's cool. I was looking at one here, and I was about to say something similar. I didn't realize that, though. I thought this one was probably one of the first ones, but I guess that probably was as far as a state recognized.
Go ahead with yours. We all want to learn.
So the first public readings of the Declaration were held in Philadelphia's Independence Square on July 8th, 1776.
Nice.
To the ringing of bells and band music. 1 year later, on July 4th, 1777, Philadelphia marked Independence Day by adjourning Congress and celebrating with bonfires, bells, and fireworks. So,
Which would make sense because Congress was in Philadelphia at that time.
right, and that was the first celebration of Independence Day, apparently, on 4th of July. So,
Well, that would be
1 year.
one, so yeah.
Yep, that was the first year. So, yeah. I just think that's pretty neat. I
It
mean,
is.
yeah. But it wasn't state recognized. It was just Philadelphia. So.
In 1778, from the headquarters of Ross Hall near New Brunswick, New Jersey, General George Washington marked July 4th with a double rations of rum for his soldiers and artillery. Pretty cool. And then they're saying in 1777, 13 gunshots were fired in salute, once in the morning and once in the evening, once when the evening fell on July 4th in Bristol, Rhode Island, as a celebration.
Of the 13 colonies? Is that the reason for the
Yeah.
13 gunshots?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I feel like I learned a lot of this in school, but I've forgotten it over the years.
Yeah.
I think the 13 though has been changed. Now I think they do a 21 gun salute.
That makes sense.
I'm not positive though. Which is kind of weird though, because the 21 gun salute is usually only given to presidents or really high positions of authority.
Dignitaries and authorities
Right.
and that kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, no military member is ever going to get a 21 gun salute. They usually get around 18.
Right.
So, or somewhere in that range.
Well, I saw it in movies, so it's got to be true.
Oh yeah.
Right.
It's on TV.
Well, count how many people are actually firing.
Right.
Most of the time, it's not 3 shots of 7 people. Most of the time, there's only 6, and they do that for a reason. So, but yeah, and also in movies, anything dealing with any type of uniform, they always have to have something wrong too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They have to. They're not allowed to be 100% accurate. So, I want to read something here. It's from a 5th grader. Okay, it was a 5th grader writing what he thinks, or actually, I'm sorry, she thinks, what July 4th means to her. Okay, this is coming from a 5th grader. Okay. Okay, so she writes, on December 7th, 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, which brought the United States into World War II. This event threatened Americans' freedom. However, the United States as a country survived this event and went on to defeat Japan. In order to defeat the Japanese threat to our freedom, the United States had to endure many battles. One battle with Japan that stands out for me is the Battle of Iwo Jima. At the Battle of Iwo Jima, America's soldiers defeated Japan. During this battle, the Japanese were defeating the Americans until the Americans raised the American flag. Once the flag was raised, the Americans defeated the Japanese. That was a sign of freedom. This was the very same freedom that was declared on the 4th of July, and the very same freedom we celebrate this very day. In conclusion, it is okay to watch fireworks and have a barbecue, but remember why we can watch fireworks and have a barbecue. It is because of the men and women who fought for and are still fighting for our freedom. That's from a 5th grader.
That's way more profound
Wow.
than anything I had planned for the end of this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
Man.
from Mia Thompson. I'm going to give her credit. That's all her. That's not me. That is Mia Thompson and Mr. Ronco's 5th grade enrichment class.
That's pretty awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the memory that I try to hold. Right, I don't know how to express it very well, but yes, she said that fantastic.
Absolutely.
Like, again, way more profound than what I said earlier, what I had planned to say toward the end of this. But that's in a very basic way. That's kind of how I feel on the 4th. Right, I want people to realize that we're all Americans and that there's a reason that we're able to do that, you know, and why we celebrate. But I don't know how to articulate it as well as a 5th grader. Apparently, I'd be great on Jeff Foxworthy's show. Because I am indeed not smarter than a 5th grader.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's basically in a nutshell, what I feel when I'm singing the national anthem at the beginning of the fireworks.
Right. Right.
In remembrance of all of that, our anthem is pretty cool. Like when you break it down to everything that it says, it's pretty cool, and it's awesome when no matter where I've ever been, I've always heard it at the start of the fireworks. I don't, I can look around and you don't see people not singing. You could have the world's worst singing voice, but that's okay because it's all in unity.
Well, it's kind of like Happy Birthday. No one ever knows what tune it's supposed to be, but everyone sings it.
Everybody sings it, yeah.
All at a different tune.
Yeah. I mean, now let me ask you this: do you sing it in English or do you sing it in French?
I sing it in English.
He's not from Quebec.
I understand that, but it's. I mean, I think the original was in French, if I'm not mistaken, or was it in English?
I could not tell you that one. Once again, I'm with Deuce on this one. Not as smart as a 5th grader.
Well, let's find out. I got Google.
I mean, I think the original was in English.
True North, strong and free. Yep. This national song originally commissioned by the Lieutenant Governor of Quebec.
So
it was probably written. The original lyrics were in French. An English translation was published in 1906. So it was written in 1880.
So it was in French.
Yeah, it was in French.
Wow. See, look at that. See, I just learned you something.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Proclaimed to be Canada's national anthem on July 1st, 1980. So it wasn't proclaimed to be until 1980, but it was written in 1880.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. It was first sung in French 100 years earlier. Yeah. So there you go. 1880, sung in French. First time it was sung. Yeah.
From Theodore Robitaille. Yeah, Robitaille.
I mean, I do have a history thing for us Americans here. Did you guys realize that when they were sitting down and doing the Declaration of Independence and everything like that, when they were picking out a language to do, did you guys know that the leading candidates were English and German? We were one vote away from having our national language to be German.
We don't have a confirmed national language today, though. It's just a language they agreed to use.
I understand that.
Oh, okay. You're saying that the language that they went with was English instead of German.
By one vote.
I'm just gonna throw this out there, man. The mid to late 30s into the 40s, that kind of scares me a little bit.
I know
that we almost spoke German. Not nothing against Germans today, of course. Just that one set of people that supported the ruler in the late 30s and early 40s. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Oh, I know.
Those times, not today, of course. But,
well, you got to think of we were the melting pot.
That's true. That's true. 100%. Yeah.
And back in that time frame, well, most of our people were from the European area.
That's true.
And
a
lot of them came from Germany.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true.
And they didn't really want to speak English because that's what that's the country we were breaking away from.
Right. No, that makes sense. That makes total sense. Yeah, makes total sense. Yeah. Well, we're definitely different today.
Oh yeah.
The language, I mean, as far as people goes, yes, we're different. But as far as language goes, American English is broken up so many different ways depending on what part of the country you're in.
Oh yes. God. Well, I mean, that's true in any country, though.
Well, that's 100% true. Yeah. Even as a country as small as Ireland, I was watching a video the other day of somebody talking about dialects in Ireland, and there's every county, basically in Ireland, has a different dialect, and it's so strange because like I had no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know that. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys say Z, we say Z up here, so you know.
Well, that's also what in the
Yeah,
UK
your
they do
vowel,
that too. Yeah.
So does Africa. Pretty much the rest of the world says Z. Yeah.
Well, you know, everybody else uses the metric system also.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad we don't say Z or millimeters.
See,
Thank
everything,
God.
everything I do at work is millimeters. Everything.
Well, to be fair, everything on the Toyota truck I had was in millimeters. So
Yeah. You know, it's like give me the 8mm. I mean the 5/16. You know.
right,
So, yeah.
right. I mean, I can't. If somebody goes, yeah, he's 165 centimeters or centimeters tall, I can't go, oh, he's 5'11".
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
I don't know that.
That part I'm not gonna know.
Like, yeah, I mean, because we do things in feet and inches doesn't make me better than you. So you using centimeters doesn't make you better than me. We do things
Exactly.
different. So
Yeah.
Yep.
a lot of
I mean,
people
heck,
make
the
that a
Egyptians use the cubit. So
right.
You know what I mean?
A lot of people try to make that a proclamation. Look at dumb America. You know, it's like, well, I mean, we just do things different. You know.
Could you imagine the cost to change all those signs? I am fine with other countries having their own systems of measurement, weights, measures, all that type of stuff. I have no
Yeah,
problem with that
I
because
don't
we
care.
have calculators on our phones now that can do the conversions for us.
I will say.
Now, I mean,
go ahead.
no, go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, I will say in America, the government wouldn't be footing that cost. It would be the American people because that's how
Yeah.
things work.
Right. Right. I was just gonna say, I mean, if it was 100 years ago, I'm sure I would know a little of both. You know what I mean? Like I would know how to make those conversions a little bit easier if I was educated. You know what I mean? Like if you know, if
Yeah.
you're an educated person in 1920, you know how to make those conversions. But
You'd be
you know,
still using
today-
the abacus, though.
yeah, today, like you said, I mean, I can just pull up a calculator and go 139 centimeters to inches.
But
Boom,
you
got
know,
it.
do you know why we do the English? Well, it's actually called imperial.
Imperial, yeah.
Imperial
Yeah,
versus metric. Yeah.
I mean, do we know why we do that?
No, I don't.
Because that's what British did.
Wait, what?
That's what
Yeah.
Britain did.
Yep. Britain, you go over there, it's in miles. They don't have
Yeah.
kilometers, it's in miles.
Yeah.
They go by pounds, they don't go by kilograms.
They do some things differently, like their volume stuff.
Is grams, is it
milliliters.
not?
Yep.
Grams
Well,
and milliliters.
Well, they do pints and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
pints
pints
and
and-
quarts,
yeah,
mind your P's
grams,
and Q's.
yeah.
That's right. Yep.
But yeah, they do miles, yard, feet, inches, all that stuff.
I didn't know they did that.
That's
But
why
liquids, I
that's
think,
why
they do
we
in
do it.
milliliters.
So-
Well,
it's not
everything I've
just-
ever heard from people from the UK though, when they talk about stuff, it's either weight in stone or weight in kilos. It's not weight in pounds. So
Right. I mean, why do you
that
think it's
baffles
called?
me. I didn't know that.
I mean, yeah, why do you think it's called the English system?
Well, I mean,
It's not the American system; it's the
Right.
English system. You know. So yeah.
yeah, I had no idea. I mean, honestly, like I don't plan on living there, so I don't. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't invest myself into things that are not going to further my abilities here. So
Right.
You know, I mean, I do like
mean-
learning history. I like learning cultures from other places too. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like something that in depth. Like I'm not going to
Right.
force
I mean,
myself to learn a whole new system when I'm never going to use it. Now, if the
mean,
U.S. says in
they drive on the wrong
2030,
side of the road, though. But,
that's true. They are one of the few countries that do that, and they make
Yes.
fun of us for some reason.
yeah,
But
it's actually easier, believe it or not.
you drive on the
there's
other side of the road.
Yes, it is. I mean, it does. It takes a while to adjust. But
Dude, you know how many wrecks I would cause turning right? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Oh man, I could just think right now, driving a manual transmission vehicle, every time I would try to shift my left using my left arm to shift, I would probably turn the wheel to the left going into first, and then like to the right going into third. You know what I mean? Like
The first time I drove in England, I was driving an old vehicle, which I had to double clutch every time. You know, while shifting with a hand, it's never shifted before. You know. So yeah, that was a little different, but no, driving. It was great.
Yeah, something I've never asked, and I've never paid any attention to either. Because again, I don't plan on living there, and if I ever visit the UK, I'll plan on taking a cab. So,
Mhm.
or a
Oh, yeah.
bus or train or whatever. Like I
Well,
don't plan on
you're not
driving.
licensed. You got to have a license over there to drive.
International license, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I don't plan on getting one. I mean, of course, I'd have to have a passport, but like,
Yeah.
I plan on traveling in public transit in some way, so I don't plan on ever having to learn how to drive a stick shift with my left hand.
Yeah, that was fun.
But I've never asked, do you push the gas pedal with your left foot or your right foot?
The pedals
never
are
bothered.
The pedals are the same.
Well, that's just silly. How come you're not forced to use your left foot to push the gas and your right foot with the clutch? If you're forced to drive the other way, how come you don't have to use your opposite feet?
Deep
It's
thought
just a joke.
with
I'm just
DeuceMS.
poking. I just had to poke fun at the whole driving on the wrong side of the road thing.
And it's
I mean, in
weird, too.
Australia, right? Australia does it too, right? They drive on the
Australia
opposite.
does too, and
Yeah.
Japan, I think.
Doesn't Ibiza? I think Ibiza
There's
does as well.
there's a couple
There's a few
any-
more countries that do.
yeah, any country that was pretty much under major British control does it.
Well,
So-
I for one think it's great that countries have their own unique ways they do things. So, which again comes back to Independence Day, that they all have the freedom to do that. Well, not all. Most countries these days today have the freedom to rule in their own way, and I think it's whether you like the countries or not, I think it's great that people are finding their own freedoms out from under the rule of other countries, like Gargoyle said earlier.
Oh yeah.
That they have their own freedoms to govern themselves, and that's the main thing that everybody should look at, is that yes, while we do things different, you do things different than us. I don't want our country trying to tell your country what they should be doing, just like I don't want your country to tell our country what we should be doing. So,
Right.
Fun
we all
fact.
have the freedom to govern ourselves. So.
75 countries drive on the left, 165 drive on the right. So it's only 69% of the world drive on the right-hand side.
Yeah, but
So
how
it's
big are
still-
most of those places too, though? How
Well,
populated
let's-
are they? I know there's a lot of small nations that do it.
Australia, Bahamas, Barbados, Botswana, Cyprus, Grenada,
Yeah.
India.
Well, all but Grenada
that's right.
is British controlled.
Yeah, India. I forgot about that. India drives on.
Yeah,
well,
India, that was British controlled too.
That's a big country, though. I mean, that's a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
New Zealand, they
British
do it as
controlled.
well. Indonesia, Hong Kong.
Yep, British controlled,
Yeah. Yeah, so wow, actually there's quite a bit on here that I was.
So we're lucky
Malaysia.
we don't drive
Wow.
on the other side of the road, then, huh?
Oh, I didn't know that. Pakistan also drives on the left.
Yep,
I didn't know
and
that either.
British controlled.
Yeah, wow. Tasmania, that one makes sense. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
British controlled. Yep.
Yeah, the British Empire was huge, man.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
it was.
We're lucky. We're lucky that we I say we're lucky. I mean,
There was an
again,
ocean
today I
between
don't have anything against the British, of course, but I mean,
Right.
the people back then felt that they needed to get out from under it. So like, I feel lucky being born in the time period I was born in, much more than the country I was born in. So
Oh yes, definitely.
Right.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
the
I'm
time
very
period makes a
happy.
huge difference there. Yeah,
I'm very grateful to have been born when I was born. I mean, there's more food available to more people on this planet than there's ever been. We have technology that makes our lives so much easier. Like I like, just how many years ago were people using an abacus to do math? I mean, now
How many
you
people
can have
still
a
know
watch.
how to use one?
Yeah, exactly.
I
Not
mean,
too many.
so if you really think about, I was thinking about this the other day, and just it blows my mind to think that Betty White was alive before major impacts happened in history, right?
Mhm.
Before major production started, before sliced bread was a thing for sure. She was in her 20s before sliced bread was invented, or 30s, whatever it was. I mean,
Right.
put that in perspective. It's been said by a few people, and I 100% agree, that we live in the best time in the world's history ever, right?
And I only hope it
Recorded
can get
history.
better.
Oh, guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a big thing to look at. And again, like I said at the beginning, we've come a long way. We still have a long way to go, but
Oh yes.
we still live in the best time period in history, I think. And I'm sure everybody before us thought that too, because we've only been progressing, So, I think to me that's the ultimate thing in the long run for Independence Day, is not so much, what it was like, what life was like in the 1700s, but the independence that it gave us to be able to decide how we wanted to go forward. So, and I think every country's grown since then, for sure. So. I didn't want it to sound like I was hating on other countries, because I don't. I mean, I respect everybody's cultures and the way they do things, for sure. But
Absolutely.
I just didn't want it to come off the wrong way.
Well, I think that's probably a good place to end this one off.
I thought we were just getting going.
Well, we've been going for about an hour.
Felt like it.
Right at
Felt
an
like
hour.
it, yeah. Right at an hour, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so happy 154th Canada. I hope everybody enjoys and acts responsibly, so we can have many, many more years of many more celebrations. And I only hope that, as good as things are now, I look forward to many years of things getting better.
And happy birthday, America.
Thought there was going to be more to that there.
No,
Yeah.
just happy birthday, America.
I mean, that's all you need.
Yeah. I'm going to end with a passage from the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, come on, man.
It's very short. Very short.
No, I don't
It's
count how
only
long
6
it is.
pages long.
You're just one-upping everybody at this point.
One upper over here.
All right. So just remember these lines from the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The American dream.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, I think I said my piece before everybody else did. So, I will just say to add on what Bone said. Try to stop thinking about it in the era it was written and the way they believed then, and try to adapt that to today's time, because it was written for all people, regardless of the wordage. Today we believe that all people, not men. So try to adapt that to today's language, because it's important to move forward, and we all want to move forward. So, happy birthday, America, and happy Canada Day to all of our Canadian friends.
Yes, happy Canada Day. I did forget that. I'm a slacker.
We'll just say Happy North America Day.
Right.
Happy North America Day.
There we
Yes.
go. Perfect. Couldn't have said it better.
I mean, Cinco de Mayo is in May, right? So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, we missed that one. So.
Yeah, happy North America Day to all of the North American friends. Even though we're late,
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo.
We usually are.
It's fine. We were too busy having beers and tacos.
That's right.
But we are the Simdicate. We are going to be signing off now. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, the link to all of our channels will be in the description. Check them out. Subscribe. If you're not subscribed to the Simdicate channel, subscribe to it. Watch through our previous podcast. Thanks for listening. Peace out, y'all.